Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Profiles in Ink. My name is Bill Soroka, founder of NotaryCoach.com and best-selling author of 4 notary business building books that are designed to help you build a thriving notary business no matter what the economy is doing. I'm excited to introduce you to my guest today, Lisa Piwcio from Massachusetts. She's a notary entrepreneur who also has built a business on Etsy selling fun, awesome notary products. Lisa, thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Well, it's absolutely my pleasure. I know as part of the Notary Business Builder community, almost from day one, right, Lisa? We've been connected, sharing lots of valuable information, and I love that you stepped into the Etsy store uh, operation as well. So we'll get a chance to share all that. First, I want to tell everybody a little bit about you. I want you to share a little bit about yourself. I know that you have Access Notary Services out of Massachusetts. What originally drew you in as a notary entrepreneur? Why did you start this business?
Well, my last job that I had, I was working at a car dealership and I became a notary there. And one day I lost that job. It happened to be, I think, a week before things started shutting down for the pandemic. So, yeah, I was going to, get another job probably at a different dealership, but because a lot of businesses were starting to shut down, I decided I was going to have to stay home and just collect unemployment for a little while. And so I started looking online and said, I wonder if I could make money as a notary public. And I never heard of this before. So I did some research and I actually came across Notary to Pro and I took her training. And that's how I got involved with you and Laura and everybody else and ended up being an MBB.
Fabulous. And I mean, in a lot of ways, your timing was probably pretty good, right? Because we experienced that pandemic boom as mobile notaries and loan signing agents. Did you tap into that at all?
Oh, definitely. I think I was kind of at the beginning of it, the very beginning of it, luckily. And I just built it from there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love that you mentioned Carol Ray's Notary to Pro because that course and Carol in particular brought so many of us together.
Mhm.
So now that you've been in the business now for almost, oh, it's probably like a 4-year anniversary for you, right? Like
Pretty much.
almost to the day. What do you love most about it?
I just like the connection with everybody. I like going out there and meeting different people and helping them, refinance their house right now or buy a house or sell it. And I mostly do a lot of loan signings for people that live out of the state of Massachusetts. Because Mass is an attorney state and we can't really do the loan signings for those properties. So I get to meet the people that are buying a house in Florida or California and they're going to be moving soon, closer to family, things like that.
Ah, I see. And have you, well, obviously you diversified your services a little bit. We're going to talk about the Etsy store. What other ways have you diversified your services in Massachusetts?
I've I've taken the training for the trust delivery, so I've been trying to get in contact with some attorneys so I can work directly with them. That's still a work in progress. Um, I don't know, pretty much that's it.
Yeah, all right. Well, I love it. So let's move into that. And what made you decide the on the Etsy store?
Actually, I got that idea from you. One of your podcasts that you had a while back, the Side Hustle Lounge, you interviewed a gentleman that was using a specific company to produce mugs and things like that.
Yeah.
So I thought that that would be, a pretty inexpensive, easy way to get into something extra. So I went that route and I started designing some basic mugs on one site. I had a whole lot of different kinds of pictures and things. And then I sort of branched off that and created a separate Etsy store for just the notary swag.
Ah, Nice. And I was looking at your Etsy store and I love the designs. Clean, crisp, and they're funky and fun too. So it brings an air of humor and fun into our world too. Because I had on here a few of my favorites on here. I love your t-shirts as well. I don't advise, I notarize.
Mhm.
Also, I'm that Notary Public they told you about. I absolutely love that. And you've got some fun mugs, journals, even. My signature is my superpower on a t-shirt and a mug. And I see that you even made an ebook for people who are thinking about becoming a notary public as well. Is that
Mhm.
authored by you or is that a collaboration? How'd that come about?
Actually that's very recent, and I do have to admit it's a bit AI generated for me. But I obviously did go through it and make sure that everything sounded right and was professional enough. So I added that.
Yeah, love that. I love that you're leveraging modern technology and really jumping in on this store. Now, one of the things that really popped for me is how affordable all your pricing is. You've
Mhm.
got well-priced mugs, obviously, and then the t-shirts. I mean, that's a really good deal on there. So what's if somebody had a notary public in their life, how could they find your website and access all of this and buy some of these great gifts for them?
Well, you can go right on Etsy and you can search for Access Notary Services. You should come up that way. That's what I've named the store to make it easy.
Super easy. And then I'll also add the links directly to your Etsy store and your website and even your Notary profile on there as well. So if anybody's looking for a notary in Massachusetts, or if you're looking for a gift for that notary you love, you can check out Access Notary Services on Etsy. Now, if I wonder if there's two pieces of advice I wondered if you'd be willing to share with us, Lisa, and that's on both your businesses. So, if you had a piece of advice for a notary entrepreneur on the notary side of things, what would that be? And then if you had a piece of advice for somebody who was looking to start an Etsy store, what would that be? Let's start with a notary. What advice do you have for a notary public?
The advice I'd have is just to, stay consistent with everything that you're working on. Continue to train every day. And mostly important is to make sure you know your state notary laws because they can be different for other states and things. So you want to make sure you're doing everything the correct way.
Yeah, great advice. And if somebody were interested in starting their own Etsy store, what advice do you have for them?
A little bit of advice, something that I found out kind of the hard way, is when you're putting products up on there. I mean, I do know a lot of people create Etsy stores and they sell products that are homemade or they make themselves and ship them out. The avenue that I took was to actually use a third party supplier to supply the products that I have on there. And one of the things that I didn't know at first, which I wish I did, was that if somebody goes on there and like say orders a mug from me, I have to make sure that I can cover the cost of that product before. You don't just put a product up there and then the customer buys it and then that money is used to produce the product. Some of it has to come from you, and then you get your income you receive after.
Hmm. That's interesting and really good advice. And I wonder if we could explore that a little bit more too, because I'm fascinated by this as well. As I jumped into this. So this is really kind of like almost like, well, it is print on demand services, right? So
Mhm.
you don't have to go out and buy like 1,000 mugs at one time and have them in a warehouse or in your garage or anything like that, right? Can you explain a little bit about how that works?
Right. The avenue that I took was to use the company, and it, like you said, it's a print on demand service. So if somebody does place that order, I create the product in that company's website and then it gets shared onto my Etsy store so that that's where it shows up. So when somebody places the order, it actually goes directly to that other company to produce the product. So yeah, I don't have a lot of things and then I'd have to ship them out, so that would cost more.
No inventory or anything like that, but you get to design it, which is Well, I like to say it's the fun part. For some people it is, for others it's not. Do you enjoy the design part?
I do, and I do. I spend a lot of time in Canva and using other avenues that I am able to get some graphics from to get ideas to make things.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Lisa Pifko from Access Notary Services in Massachusetts. You can find her on Etsy under Access Notary Services, on Godary as Lisa Pifko or Access Notary Services, and of course on your website as well, right, Lisa?
Yes, it's
Access
access
Notary
notice.
services.com. All right, wonderful. Lisa, thank you so much for spending some time with us, and I'll leave all those links under the show notes right under this video.